Good morning all. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying safe. It's Wednesday the 27th of May. As you can see, we're indoors today, and that's because we've had a pretty good rainstorm this morning, and where I sit under a metal roof normally in the morning, the rain's still falling off the trees and it's making it quite hard to hear. So apologies for any lighting issues that we've got today. I still do need to get myself a decent lighting set for this indoor studio, so please bear with me on the lighting issue. So what's going on today? Usual stuff with US cases. They're trending down, which is good. Florida case is still bouncing around a bit. Down yesterday, but still bouncing around. Big news today, obviously, is that Walt Disney World and SeaWorld will be doing their presentations to the Orange County Economic Taskforce, and then a vote will be taken on whether they can open or not. We don't know what day they're going to propose yet, so bear with me with that. I'm going to try and rush out a video as soon as possible after that vote is taken, and I'll try and get the slides for any presentations that do take place today. I do have the agenda for that, so we can see when the SeaWorld and Disney World presentations are due to take place within that time slot. Additional outlets are due to open at Disney Springs today, so I've got your news on which they are. There's some talk now on when are we going to enter phase 2. The theme parks are not supposed to open until phase 2, so I've marked up the Florida COVID-19 daily case chart to show if we needed to make that decision, if Governor DeSantis needed to make that decision today, would he be able to do that? And I've got a recap on what needs to happen in order for us to get to phase 2 in terms of daily caseload or percentage drop in caseload. I've also marked up the Florida chart to show what would happen if we needed to reverse engineer from June the 1st, which is when Universal Studios is due to open to its team members. If we had to make that decision 14 days back, which would be the 18th of May, what number of cases would we need to fall below in order to draw that straight line and say yes, okay, we're good to go. As I said yesterday, there were crowds in Daytona Beach. They weren't the only ones that were scattered around Florida. So will that have any effect? Will that cause spikes to happen in Florida, which might derail a phase 2 opening? So we shall see. Okay, that's it for the headlines. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Please hit that notification bell, and you'll get this stuff approximately 6 days a week at the moment. When I'm back in the parks, then I'll probably lay off the news a little bit and I'll get back to doing more park stuff. A massive thank you to everybody who's subscribed so far. Yesterday we hit this great big milestone of 1,000 subscribers, so we're a little bit above that now. So thanks for everybody who has subscribed, and if you haven't, please join the gang, subscribe, and you'll get this stuff almost every day. Okay, let's get to the news. New cases in the US yesterday was 19,049, that's the lowest since May the 11th, while in Florida there were 509 new cases, that's the lowest for a week. The big news today is that Walt Disney World and SeaWorld will present their reopening plans to the Orange County Economic Recovery Taskforce. That meeting starts at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I'll put a link to it in the description below. The presentations from SeaWorld and Disney World will come after the health update. Inspections for Disney World and SeaWorld took place yesterday, and an update will be given following the presentations from Disney World and SeaWorld. If the same format is followed as that for Universal Orlando, a vote will then be taken, and if approved will then be sent to Governor DeSantis for ratification. Today also marks further openings at Disney Springs. Deluxe Burger reopens, along with the Lego Store, Marketplace Co-op, and World of Disney. With Universal Orlando opening to its team members on June the 1st, talk has moved now to when will Florida enter phase 2 of its reopening. The requirements for moving into phase 2 are either a downward trajectory of documented cases within a 14-day period, or the downward trajectory of positive tests as a percent of total tests within a 14-day period. If that 14-day period ended yesterday, you can clearly see that on May the 12th, the number of cases was higher than on May the 26th. Florida entered full phase 1 reopening on May the 18th, when the number of cases was 854. 2 weeks from then would be June the 1st, and if a straight line is drawn, we would just need to be under 854 cases on June the 1st, which is when Universal Orlando has been given the go-ahead to reopen. If you saw my video from yesterday, you'll remember that I said that police were called to a large gathering at Daytona Beach Boardwalk. Reports today have questioned whether that gathering and others in Florida may lead to a spike in cases. So US cases trending down. Still really good news for the US as a whole. New York seems to be doing really well now, which is, that's the driver for the US. There doesn't seem to be spikes elsewhere in the country. So it's just now Florida needs to get its act together. We've obviously entered full phase 1 last week, and we've yet to see big spikes. The spike that occurred over the weekend was again it's reported to be due to backlog of tests. I wish they would stop this, and because people just don't know what the spike is about until a couple of days later. But at least it was backlogs of tests and not a spike, a real spike in cases. So we're not doing too badly. I'd love for us to be doing much better, especially if we're going to open up to other states and eventually internationally. No news on international travel, by the way. I keep getting asked the question on international travel. No news at the moment. As soon as I hear anything at all, I'll bring it to you. So the Walt Disney World and SeaWorld presentation is happening today, with Universal Studios opening up on the 5th to the public. I think we might get some kind of shock news, if you like, that they're going to be opening on the 12th of June, something like that, which is only a couple of weeks away. I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Orange County commissioners have been to look at both parks, which I think they did that yesterday. I'm sure that they've given those parks a good, clean bill of health, and I'm sure that vote today is going to go in Disney World and SeaWorld's favour, so they will be able to open on the date that they say that they want to open. SeaWorld, we've seen some testing last week. They may open even in advance of Disney World, but they haven't got very long now to get people back to work and then get the park open. So I'm thinking 12th of June for both parks. That's my gut feel at the moment, but we shall see maybe at 11 or 12 o'clock today exactly when that's going to be. The additional outlets opening at Disney Springs, only 4 of them, one food outlet, and then the Disney stores are opening. So that might drag a few more people down there. I might have seen pictures of Disney Springs over the Memorial Day weekend. Very sparse crowds, not great weather here, and that, I guess, kept crowds away as well. There's still only 44 stores. That's going to be up to 48 stores today out of approximately 150 open. So people aren't going there in droves because there isn't, with only a little under a third of the stores open now, there still isn't a massive pull down there. So talk on what's going to happen to get to phase 2. You can see what's needed to happen. So unless we get a huge spike resulting from idiotic behaviour over the Memorial Day weekend, then I think there's a very good chance that we're going to get phase 2 coinciding with the opening of Universal Studios. I don't know whether Governor DeSantis is going to make a decision, whether he's going to actually come out and say we have to make a decision by that point in order for Universal Studios to open, because it would be quite horrendous, I think, if DeSantis had to actually say you can't open because of something that's happened, because of this spike in cases that's brought us above the line instead of below the line. You can't open now. I know that Universal are calling their team members back to work. I know 1 or 2 of those guys, so I know that they're going back to work very, very soon, and Universal will have to then start paying them. They can't really lay them off or furlough them again, because I guess the decision to open in phase 2 could be taken day by day. So I'm hoping there isn't going to be a spike in cases. And that's really the news today. It's we're all waiting with kind of bated breath on Disney and on SeaWorld today. So as I say, I'll bring you that news as soon as possible this afternoon. There will be a video coming out this afternoon. So if you're not subscribed yet, that would be a good chance for you to subscribe and hit that bell, and you'll get that stuff in your YouTube inbox, if you like, this afternoon. So that's it from me for today. I'll see you tomorrow. In fact, I won't. I'll see you this afternoon. Until then, stay safe, stay well. See you. Bye-bye.